You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
And welcome race fans to the All-American Racing League's Blue-Gray Plastic Fabrication Cup Series, Race 2 from sunny Hampton, Georgia. The Atlanta Motor Speedway, in all its old-school glory, will host tonight's Hot Atlanta 200. I'm Cliff in the booth alongside legendary Matt Metler for tonight's flag-to-flag coverage on Sim Racing Media. Matt, how are you doing tonight?
Well, Cliff, the question is, how is the entire country that's watching this race right now doing after what we saw last week, the season opener from the high banks of Daytona, and it did not disappoint. That race was next level. I have been chomping at the bit, counting the days down up until tonight to get here, just to be up here in the booth with you, because I've been anticipating the type of racing we're going to see out here tonight all week long. And you have to wonder, is it going to be as action-packed as we saw last week? And I think you mentioned it. It's old school Atlanta, not the new hybrid. Nope, we're running old school Atlanta. We're Harvicking this track. Oh my, Harvicking comes into play, right? Yep.
You know it's old school Atlanta, so it is going to be action-packed. You hit that nail right on the head. As these drivers are finishing up their practice laps, we're going to get into qualifying momentarily. We're going to get a word from some of our drivers Big shout out to Purcell for winning last week's race. Morton in the 67 machine and Raposa finished second and third. We'll talk to Patrick McQuaid just after his qualifying lap, so don't go away. Stay tuned. You're watching Sim Racing Media. It's the All-American Racing League Blue Gray Plastic Foundation Cup Series from Hotlanta for the Hotlanta 200. We're glad you could join us. You said it, action-packed last week at Daytona. We went green, white, checkered multiple times. Big shout-out, though, to that 0-0 of Kyle Purcell, who's actually on top of the practice charts right now with the fastest lap, 30.78.
Yeah, and don't tell me that all that positive momentum doesn't breed momentum. It doesn't have an effect on your race team. I mean, you mentioned it, Cliff. Purcell is back on the top of the leaderboard, picking up right where he left off last week. So can he keep the streak going? That was a wild one. We ran every possible lap we could. We threw the rule book out, our notes. That was one for the ages, and we could only hope to have a repeat of that here tonight. But hey, it's Tuesday night. The night time's the right time, and it's the right moment for the AARL series tonight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we're glad you could join us tonight. If you're enjoying this weekly series that we got going on with the AARL boys and gals. My apologies. We got guys and gals here in this league. We're glad you can join us. Be sure to like and subscribe. These guys put on a great show. I don't know if you caught us last week for the Daytona opener. But tonight at Atlanta, it's going to be a show. We're going to have a hot racetrack. It's going to be slick. It's going to eat up tires. They got 5 tire sets tonight, so tire strategy is going to be probably more important than anything else tonight. That staying alive, Matt. We saw some carnage late in the Daytona race, but it's Daytona. What are your thoughts here for Atlanta? It's old school. It's going to be tire wear, really conscientious, and really saving your tires is going to be key, I think. But what are your thoughts here? And can we, as we see Purcell get a little bit looser and into the wall, can we get a lot of green flag runs in here tonight? Or are we going to be marred by caution flag and, really just short flag runs? What are your thoughts?
Well, if we look at the book of notes, which I know we threw out last week, if we look at that, it would tell us we're in for a night of high octane beating and banging with, maybe 10 to 20 lap runs with a caution, averaging in that time frame, especially as we get down towards the end. However, this is old school Atlanta. I think the jitters are gone. We had the first race of the season, all that anticipation, everyone's anxiety is peaked. Getting to your point about this racetrack tonight, this is a racetrack here where it's really going to mentally challenge you. And I think the drivers that have that mental toughness, and what I mean by that is sometimes you're going to have to let guys go. This track is like a sheet of 80 grit sandpaper on these tires. Yeah, sure, you can fire off out of the hole and look like you're, 3, 4, 5 tenths faster a lap. But in 10 laps, your tires are going to be gone. And it's going to be the guys that have the mental toughness, that have the patience to sit there and manage their equipment, especially if this is a long green flag scenario. You'll see those guys, the cream rise to the top. And some of these new guys may come out of here with just having to take a chapter out of their playbook and putting that in their brain housing group for next time. But still early in the season, I'm still learning all these guys. Certainly, the ins and outs of this field. But I think we may see that come into play, especially being old school Atlanta.
Well, early in the season is a key point that I want to hit on there. It is only the race 2, and we've got some really fast drivers out here that are gonna give it their all, even though it's only race 2. And these guys are running for a championship from some of the past champs to some of the newcomers, and just about anyone else you can think of out here. Most of these guys are here not just for a win here in any particular week, but they're racing for a championship. And it only being week 2, we've got a long way to go, and there's a lot of opportunity here for any of these drivers to make a name for themselves and get up into the championship status. So we're excited here at Sim Racing Media, and I know the AARL group is very excited to be here. Race 2 at Atlanta. Big. I don't want to say it's a wrench in the spokes, but a little bit of a curveball for next week, as we're going to go to the Chicago street course, and we're going to turn left and right. We're going to get intimate with the streets of Chicago, and for the first time ever, the All-American Racing League will go to Chicago, and it's going to be interesting. So be sure to join us next Tuesday, same time, same channel. As we get wild, it's going to be fun. You don't want to miss it. I guarantee that. But tonight, it's all about Atlanta. Hot high banks, slick track, going to eat tires. We'll see how we do. We're going to take a look at some of these drivers. Lilith Peters on the top right now, as most everybody's got their qualifying lap done. It's going to be Peters, Purcell, Clapper currently top 3. We'll see if any of these guys that haven't jumped out there yet can make something happen.
And you're absolutely right. And out of those top 3, I mean, we saw at Daytona, each and every one of those drivers, Peters, Purcell, and Clapper, I mean, at times they were leading the race and they were in contention to potentially, win that race until all that mayhem broke loose, and we went into the final depths of overtime when Purcell came out on top. But, I want to touch on something you mentioned previously, Cliff. It's a brand new season, and the beauty of that is whatever happened last year, it doesn't matter anymore. Everyone has an opportunity right now. It's pretty much a level playing field. You can make this season anything you want it to be. So everyone's going to have high expectations. Everyone's going to be in good spirits and want to get going racing here tonight. We just got to make sure that, the old beating and banging and the boys' tempers don't come into play out there on the racetrack and start to deter that mindset. But 200 laps here tonight, and it is hot at Atlanta. That track temp's already 99 degrees. Sim time only early afternoon, which, Cliff, that means that track temp is only going to go up.
Yeah, it's only going to get worse, which means it's going to get hotter, slicker, and eat up your tires faster. Like I keep saying it, but you'll see before this race is over that is what's going to win this race. Saving tires. Whoever can have a set left over at the end and can make it on the set of tires that we've got here tonight will be the winner. Let's jump live now if we can. Let's see if we can get Patrick McQuaid here into the booth before we get started here. Patrick, it's Matt and Cliff in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Big finish. Not great last week at Daytona, finishing 4th, but coming out to Atlanta here. What are your chances here to put that 77 machine on the podium?
Yeah, last week was pretty good, I guess. I mean, for Daytona, right? Survive the race, and be there at the end, right? But it was pretty unfortunate what happened with me and Cole. I believe, looking at it, it was like netcode. But tonight, it's all about saving them tires, right? But I would say it's pretty slim. The one obviously is always fast, and then Louis, always fast, and then my teammates, they've provided great data and telemetry to look at, but I gotta replicate it, right? So I would say a slim chance, but it's all going to be based on strategy, I'd say.
Yeah, you said it best. Tire wear is going to be paramount here. We wish you luck in that 77 muffler man machine. Looks like your internet's holding out this year. Good news. Hopefully we can talk to you again at the end of this one. We appreciate taking the time, to get us going, and good luck tonight. It's definitely a different animal when it comes to Daytona versus Atlanta.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, shout out to T-Mobile. That I got the gateway device. So, hey, If anyone's having internet problems, go get one of them.
I love it. Well, good luck, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you.
Just like we were saying, Cliff. I mean, even the drivers are in such good spirits right now. We're plugging our extended partners right now. T-Mobile, 5G. Go check out the box at home. You're not happy? Give them a call. Obviously, that driver has it, Cliff, and we know how important connections are to us, especially in the iRacing sim world.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. As we get rolling here, we'll go up and bring up our grid, and we will run through. So Lilith Peters is going to grab the pole here tonight. Sean Purcell's going to start outside row 1. Evan Clapper starting inside row 2 with David Lorfano the third starting outside row 2. Peter Terrio is going to start 5th. Patrick Wade this time is going to roll on 6th. Louis Clark's going to start 7th. Josh Mahanki's going to start outside of row number 4 in the 8th position. Kyle Purcell is going to roll off 9th with Jeremy Flanagan Zorku in the 72 machine starting off 10th. Matt?
Let's bring the rest of the way through the field. In 11th, the 9 machine of Adam Aspergen. In 12th, the 7 of Travis Rodriguez. 13 belongs to the 20 machine of Larry Garnes. 14th, gonna roll off Justin Horton. Horton was also a factor at times last week at Daytona. 15th is gonna belong to Christian Delgado, followed by David Hara in the 16th position, driving the 15 machine. 17th, Chad Snyder. 18th, Jim Hubble. 19th, Scott Leonard, and in 20th, rounding out your top 20, that's going to be the 27 of Cameron Harris as we get set to go green.
We're set to go green as Purcell and Peters will take us to the line. The 00 is going to get a big start on the outside line. We'll see if that works out for them. Atlanta's going to probably hand it to Lilith Peters in the one on that bottom side, at least now while her tires last. We'll see how long she can hold out.
Yeah, how about Lilith Peters coming out of nowhere in qualifying in the late stages to take the pole, and she is currently carrying the torch around this high bank 1.5 mile oval Atlanta Motor Speedway, and that one is checking out. She's doing her best John Force impersonation right now, but Cliff, I don't know if that's necessarily what you want to do, because we've talked about it so many times already. Those tires, they're under abuse right now. From the minute you start to pick up that throttle, and also, don't forget about the draft as we see the 57 of Evan Clapper starting to track her down.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. She's got to be a little bit careful. I think she did the right move. She got the track position on that start. She's going to use up a little bit of her tires to hold on to it. But as you said, Evan Clapper in that 57's right on her tail. He's going to grab the inside and probably bring the 73 of Louis Clark with him on the bottom side. The one of Lilith Peters going to shuffle back to third there.
Yeah, a little shake and bake action going on between Clapper and the 73 of Lewis Clark. Change at the front at the point right now is going to be the 57 machine of Evan Clapper, and following it in very close pursuit, looking to the top side of the racetrack. Now he's going to come back down low. He's going to take a peek back outside. He wants the lead, and that is the 73 of Lewis Clark. He is looking awful competitive right now.
Newcomer Evan Clapper is going to try to hold on to that lead, but he's going to have to give it up to Lewis Clark. And big shout out to that 5.7 of Evan, his first year here, or first season with the All-American Racing League, and doing a hell of a job to create a name here. But Lewis Clark, a veteran here, is going to take that point, and he's going to hold off Evan Clapper and Sean Purcell. Lilith Peters, third and fourth.
Yeah, as Lilith Peters is currently going the wrong way, Cliff. She started on the pole, fell into the clutches of the 57. Now it fell under duress of the 00. Sean Purcell is going to take the position away from her, and that's going to move Lilith Peters back to third position. I'm sorry about that. Rounding out the top 4, that's going to be the 00 of Purcell and the 25 of Josh Heddick. That's the top 5 as they run right now, as we're starting to see everyone maybe just settle down just a little bit and try to log some laps, because we do have a long ways to go.
Jump back to the 15th position of Adam Agerstein. He just ran in what is the best lap of the race, 30.98, so mid-pack really picking up a little bit here as we get going. Lap 6 of 134 at the Hotlanta 200. We got a long way to go, and tires are going to be important. Keep that in mind all night, ladies and gentlemen. the faster and harder you go here, the more and more you're going to eat up your tires. You really got to save that. So we will see who can be the best at that. We see Lil Peters dropping back to third, but I think strategically, maybe she's letting off a little bit and letting her tires cool down and trying to save a little bit of that first set.
You and I are on the same page, Cliff, and I seen her do that last week, and I know you say, how do you do that at Daytona? Believe it or not, when you were out there as many laps as these guys were, ladies and gentlemen, last week, tires come into a plate everywhere. And I think that's exactly what she's doing. She's using that mental toughness right now. The spotter, the crew chief are telling her, Lilith, I understand you're a race car driver. I need you to run these lap times right now. And believe me, as a competitor buckled in that race car, it's so hard to do. But if she's able to execute this as part of the plan, which I believe it is, it's going to set her up for some good long run speed. So in about 10 to 15 laps or so, look for her to start making her charge back forward.
I can't stress enough how important it is that right from the very beginning, from that green flag drop, the most important thing on your mind tonight is save your tires. Hard, as a race car driver, you want to go as hard as you can, all out every single lap. So having to calm down and honestly slow down a bit is very hard for these people. It's not natural for them. They want to go fast constantly all the time, and hearing in your ear, save tires, slow down, be cautious, it's just not a language we want to speak. So hats off to everyone here tonight being able to keep this car on track and not destroy it from overdriving it.
Now, Cliff, you're absolutely right. I think this is one of the best case examples of when fast is slow. I mean, literally, that's what you have to be here at Atlanta if you want to be fast over the fuel and tire run. You're just going to have that patience. But let's talk about some big movers of the race. And I know we're only a handful of laps in, but the 15 of David Hara, he's made no time in that CL1 Camaro coming up through the field. He has cracked the top 10, up 7, currently in the 9th position.
I'm glad that you brought him up because unfortunately David Hara had to sit out the first race of the season. One of the admins of this league and one of the owners here, really important to stress that this league is very equal in their rules. David Hara, unfortunately, at the end of last season, made a mistake and broke some rules that caused him a penalty at the first race of the season. So for this 15 machine, they're already down one race. They had to sit out at Daytona and watch from the sidelines. We talked to him early in the beginning of the race, and it was just really important for them as a group to show that they stick to their rules. And this 15 machine is in deficit, and has a really good chance at coming back and winning. But they've got fast car, fast team, but they're already in a deficit from setting out at Daytona. So seeing this run here tonight at Atlanta is going to be really important for this 15 machine. So keep an eye on that.
Well, you can definitely tell he's carrying a chip on his shoulder because he is coming through the field. Tires are important or not, he is just charging right now, trying to remind everybody, hey, you forgot about me last week. Don't forget about me this week. Up 9 positions, strong run by the 15. And that's a great point to bring up, Cliff, because oftentimes in leagues and in competition, it's easy to penalize the new guy, the newcomers, the young guys, the young guns. More so, as you progress and become a seasoned veteran, you don't typically see the penalties fall as harsh on some certain drivers. And to top it all off, he's the CEO of the league. So like you said, it's great to see an even playing field on display to show everybody, hey, we're not playing favorites. You break the rules, it applies to everybody. And I really think that's going to change how you race as a driver in the series over the course of the season.
I agree, and I feel like that's...
We got a spin!
Caution's going to fly. Guarantee that. Lap 15 here as David Lorfano is in trouble.
Yeah, David Lorfano is going to spin off the nose and grab a bowl of Captain Crunch right off the inside wall early. That's definitely probably going to be the use of one of his fast repairs. We're lucky there wasn't more involved in that. Didn't get a good look at it. I just seen him coming down the racetrack. Go back to instant replay here, Cliff.
Yeah, keeping an eye on that 8 machine there. Just a racing deal. A whole pack of cars there getting in trouble in the backstretch. The 8 machine is going to get the worst of it in that Blues Race Designs. Beautiful looking car, but unfortunately, it's going to get turned around.
Yeah, just one of those wrong place at the wrong time. And I know that sounds so cynical, but that's, I mean, when you're going 160, 70 miles an hour, I mean, you're covering so much distance in such a short amount of time, it literally unfolds so fast you can't even react to it.
Yeah, the A car had to check up real hard there, and is actually going to get a piece of the car behind him. And that's just a racing deal. Like I said, you know, H checking up, car in front of him slowing up, and the car behind him can't catch it fast enough, and you know, a little bit of an accordion deal there, and that's just going to happen.
Yeah, and I know we talk about it time and time again, but I mean, I race myself in some of these leagues and series. I know you do too. And you blink and you're in it, and there's really nothing you can do. And that was just a typical racing deal. That's a byproduct of these 1.5 mile speedways. And that's just unfortunate. But at least, hey, these drivers all have one fast repair, so he'll be able to get down pit road and get right back out there into competition. As we're currently under caution, first one of the evening, lap 17. Oh, those Dr. Feelgoods. Cliff, they coming or are they staying out?
They feel so good right now. Lap 17 at Atlanta, old Atlanta is going to, when you get these fresh tires on there, you have no idea how good it feels. Most of you might, as you watch this back, you're going to know, oh man, at lap 17 when I got that second set of tires, that felt so much better. It's like putting on a brand new pair of shoes, and I know that most of you at home know that feeling. But we got a handful, a couple handfuls of drivers from pitted right there. Evan Clapper, Lilith Peters, Jeremy Flanagan, Tyrone Yo Jr., Justin Horton, Christian Delgado, Nathan Christensen, all going to come down pit road there to get a fresh set of those feel goods. I'm liking that decision right there. I think we've got 16 laps under that set of tires. We know what the wear is going to feel like. Let's get a new set and understand what it's going to feel like when we do get a new set. You know, maybe for some of these drivers up front, like Lewis Clark, Sean Purcell, Peter Terrio, our top 3, maybe they're feeling like, you know what, I don't need a new set yet, and they're playing that tire strategy game that we talked about early on. Let's see how this plays out as they come down the backstretch match. Backstretch mat. As I stumble upon my own words, we'll come out of 3 and 4, and we'll take us to the green.
Yeah, just real quick, if you want to see how important tires are at Atlanta, watch Lilith Peters and company just march through this field. That'll give you guys a good representation at home. So as we get ready to turn these boys back loose here at Atlanta, in the dirty south, that iRacing.com pace truck, that hard right-hand turn. There we go, in the Geico restart zone. The 73 of Lewis Clark's going to have the button. Oh, we're spinning and wrecking behind him.
The double zero of Purcell is going to get into big trouble on that restart. I don't know what happened there, but it was wild. He just turned left into the field.
Someone got too happy on the boomstick and I think spun the tires, which wadded everyone else up behind him. And tires, Cliff. I mean, it sounds, I know we keep saying the same word over and over again.
You think? I'm leaning more towards the wrong gear there, but I get what you're saying here. Yeah, tires probably slick, but I'm thinking Sean Purcell had some mechanical issues there and gearbox just wasn't working or something.
Or potentially money shifted, perhaps.
That very well could be.
I have to watch the replay. I thought I saw the back end step out like it was like he just had no forward bite. We'll have to go to replay to know for certain. But just like that, nothing's guaranteed. A basic restart at Atlanta can be tumultuous at times.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, coming to the green there on the outside of row 1, I've honestly done it. You hit the wrong gear, the car is going to go wild in the RPMs and just burn out the tires. You're going to turn hard left, and that's what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, I mean, even the leader, you could tell that he broke traction there. He had to and put some heavy wheel corrections there to stay out of the grass. But then again, you got to remember, though, Cliff, this old Atlanta track, I mean, this was prime time for the Gen 6 car. I don't think this car ever saw competition on the old surface. So a little bit of a learning curve here, too, right? You know, how is this new tire, this big, wider tire, going to adapt? You know, so there's probably, you know, some notebooks that are really going to be etched in here from this race tonight.
Yeah, we got crew chiefs all over this field just scribbling out the notes that they once had. Something changed all that. But yeah, you know, you said it best. We're new territory here. Old Atlanta, as odd as that might sound. Old Atlanta, new territory. Lap 21 of 134. We got a ways to go. You know, I'm happy with the action so far. Not terrible, and you know, we haven't seen much carnage, so to speak. So Kyle Purcell, though, is going to sit on the point right now in the 10 machine. Patrick McQuaid, we talked to him early in that 77 machine. One out of the gate last season. I want to say 3 or 4 races in a row for the 77 machine, and then internet, for lack of a better term, shit the bed. And the 77 saw his career basically go downhill. So happy to see him in second, giving his ISP a big shout out, and let's see if he can do something with this run he's got going on.
Well, yeah, that's the one thing we all hate in the virtual world, that black hole, which is the ISP. Regardless of how good you are performing, that can be the great equalizer, equalize you right out of the race and not of your doing. It's just the worst feeling. It's gut-wrenching. But we get ready to turn these guys back loose one more time. As Kyle Purcell picking up right where he left off last week, your Daytona 500 winner. And he's currently leading right now here at the Hot 200 at Atlanta.
As we get going here, we get rerunning, we will go through the field, so stay tuned for that. If you're watching Sim Racing Media, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. You're going to get a ping every time we go live. But if you're enjoying the show here for the All-American Racing League Blue Gray Classic Foundation Cup Series, do join us every week, Tuesday nights, right here, same time, same channel. So his lights are going to go off in the iRacing pace truck right there. We'll go green next time by.
Yep, the pace truck's going to pit or come down pit road. Or at least we hope that's the case. The lights are off on the pace truck, so we can only assume we're going to go back green flag racing this time by. But you got Patrick McQuaid. I'm going to call him Lightning McQuaid. 7-7, Lightning McQuaid. He's feeling racy out there right now.
We may get some hate mail from him at the end of this show, but Lightning McQuaid is going to take us to the line side by side with Kyle Purcell. We will see who can get it done here. You're going to have to race basically on feathers here, you know, coming to this green flag. The tires are going to be an issue all night. Don't forget it.
You know, he just basically has to sit there and focus and say, I am speed, and just perform out there on the racetrack, which I know is what this man is going to do once we pop these guys, uncork these guys one more time. And here we go. Oh, looks like we got a wave around Lucky Dog coming by.
I think we're going to wave off the green flag here. I think someone down there heard about your Lightning McQuaid comment, and they're upset.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're coming. They're actually... Oh, wait. I hear they're coming up the back steps. They're coming for you. Pitchforks and all. Nah, I'm just messing. We waved off that green flag. We're going to go green next time by, I believe. I think we had to get some stuff sorted out in the back. It happens from time to time. The importance here is to understand that they're taking the time to get it right before we go green.
Well, that's exactly it. And big shout out to Race Control for seeing something they didn't like and for just delaying the restart one more lap. creates a lot less of a headache if we get it corrected now and it impacts the final outcome later on down the line tonight. So big shout out to them for being on the ball. So we're going to make one more circuit around this 1.5 mile oval under caution. The lights are back out on the Chevy Silverado. You're going to have the 10 and the 77 share in the front row, followed by the 73 and the 15 of David Hara, who is up 13 positions. Let's see if he can get the rest of the way down as we hit the Geico restart zone. And we are back under green flag racing. He's going to John Force it on the inside of the 77, but drag racing him on the top side of the racetrack. Kyle Purcell, he's not going to fall to the clutches of him easily. He's going to have the preferred line, but Purcell may have the momentum on the top side of the exit of the corner. But that's going to get negated by the help of the 15. He is now all the way up to third.
A big shout out to the Purcell brothers, as they, unfortunately, we saw the 0-0 money shift earlier and fall back to 20th, but Kyle Purcell up here in third. Said brothers, I'm hoping I'm correct on that. Hopefully remembering correctly, but Patrick McQuaid second, Lewis Clark is first. Let's see how they fare out here coming down the backstretch as Clark, McQuaid, Purcell, first, second, third. David Hara in the 15th on 12 spots to the 4th position. Let's see if he can make something happen.
If you already have that kind of momentum going over the course of this early run, you would only assume that he's going to be able to keep charging forward until these tires start to equalize. As we're 3 wide right now, the Hornet's Nest is surrounding the 15, a situation that driver does not want to be in. He's going to quickly try to get either to the top side of the racetrack or on the low line, and he clears it, and they get that cleaned up quick, fast, in a hurry, only to almost go 3 wide again. Is the 10's going to get caught in the sucker hole?
You know, you try to just play it cautious here at Atlanta, and sometimes you find yourself in situations where you can't avoid like 3 wide coming out of 3. You don't want it, but hats off to the 15 machine of David Hara, really able to just hold on to that and keep it going here.
Yeah. Near the back of the pack, we had someone break traction coming off the corner and went way deep into the flat, off the transition of the banking, but it looks like they got it pointed back straight as we stay under green. But how about this competition up near the front of the field? Oh, and look who's back in the picture. Where did she come from? Lilith Peters took those new tires. How many laps did that take, Cliff?
No, it took a handful. Patrick McQuaid was leaving there for a second. Christian Delgado's going to take it from him, and then Lilith Peters is going to just waltz all in and just take it right back.
Yeah, Lightning McQuaid is going to get struck by Lilith Peters and company as they take the 4 fresh Dr. Feelgoods, make her back to the point, and that just goes to show you, Cliff, these other drivers and crew chiefs are going to take notes right now. That was only 17 laps, and they went down pit road and pitted all the way back of the field on the lead lap, and they were able to go from she was able to go from worst to first in 4 to 5 laps. That's very impressive.
Lilith Peters is able to run her fastest lap of the race, pulls her right to first place, right in front of Delgado, and Evan Clapper now pulling up to third. But we saw the one car of Lilith Peters being really fast in practice, and just shows us here now that car is going to be a reckon to deal with later on.
Yeah, and even, as she went on into that run, I really didn't see that car looking like it was a handful to drive. It was really firmly planted in the racetrack. Looked like she was able to rotate the center really well too, especially with the amount of laps she had on her ZL1 comparable relevant to the other drivers around her. And I think you're right. The question is, how is she going to perform over the long run as we see her falling back into the clutches here of the 16 of Christian Delgado? But we've seen her do this the last run, though, too. And I think this is just smart management, understanding what the bigger, greater cause is here. And the greater cause is start-finish line, crossing it first when that checkered flag flies, not being number 1 right now, per se.
Well, right now she has got her hands full with that 16 machine, less than a car length right on her tail. She's got to be conscious of everything she's doing and everything that 16 machine is doing, as she is racing more in her rear view mirror right now than she is on her front windshield.
Oh, rightfully so, and especially with how draft sensitive and aero sensitive this next gen car is. And the more that Elizabeth Peters tries to break that draft, and change direction with her car, that's just more tire wear. So you just have to be committed to, just running that track lap after lap, just like it was if you were out there on a Sunday afternoon, not someone breathing down the back of your bumper for a position behind you. It's all those little things that you do over the course of the run that make you have that tire advantage, as we're, 30 laps plus into that particular that particular session, or that's it.
We're gonna watch as this unfolds high from the blimp, and we're gonna go side by side so you won't miss any of the action. But don't go away, as we'll be right back right after this message.
Yes, we're just about 40 laps into the books in this one, Cliff. So what are you so far? Has this met your expectations? And what else? What other turns do you think we're going to see throughout the course of this race this evening? We've already seen a couple key interesting data points here. One, tires are everything out there. Two, Lilith Peters, she's got a fast ride and she can go from the back to the front. 16, he is going to give it everything he has every single lap of this race. He's not going to take a break. In fact, he's giving her a couple love taps right now under question. Just saying hello.
Yeah, I get you. Adam ended up spinning off return number 2, and he did caused whoever Kyle is or whatever, Kyle, I think, he had to hit the brakes to avoid absolutely slamming into him. So that's why the caution was thrown.
I apologize. I was muted that whole time. Corey, you gave us the explanation. We appreciate that. Adam Anderson having some trouble there. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump back. Thank you for letting us know what that caution was for. We appreciate that.
Yeah, always nice we can have race control jump in and let us know what we missed out on. And just sometimes, cautions happen when we're away at break or, doing a side-by-side. But, these guys, they have every phase of this race covered. So we definitely appreciate race control and the job they do week in and week out. So the 9's going to basically lose it and basically give the other competitors out there make their virtual life flash before their eyes, as they're going to have to come down pit roads for 4 Dr. Feelgoods, a change of shorts, and a new race suit.
Corey Bodenot, we surely thank you for your race control of the season. Huge addition from last season, and here we're bringing it forward on the season. So we do appreciate you, and appreciate your insight, whether my mic's muted or not. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's always good to be doing race controlling and broadcasting and whatever.
Yeah, man, we'll let you hang out here if you want. You can go ahead and, I'm pretty sure, move yourself back when you're ready. But what are your thoughts here, if we can get it real quick, on Atlanta and, this being the old racetrack and eating tires as we know it? Do you see anything you want to throw in there?
See, Cliff, he doesn't know like the rest of us. We still have to figure it out.
Yeah, no.
Well, no, I was dealing with Larry here. He's getting his lucky dog.
Yeah, he's got to do race control stuff.
I know. I was just filling the gap.
I appreciate it. Well, listen, Corey, I appreciate you. You do an awesome job at race control. I'm going to throw you back into your own room so we can get back to business as usual. But, yeah, man, you do a great job behind the scenes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we appreciate you, man. No, he really is one of the best in the space, highly renowned. We can't thank him enough. So here's another question, another scenario we haven't talked about too much yet. We've been focusing on old Atlanta. We saw that last stint, Lilith Peters here, as we get ready to go back into the restart zone, and she's going to fire off. What a restart by the 1. She just straight trucks the rest of the field, jumps out 4 or 5 car lengths. And she's going to get up to speed, flying like a rocket as she's eating down the bottom of the corner. That one car is definitely hooked up right now as she has the 16 of Christian Delgado, 57 of Clapper, and the rest of the field hard on her 6.
I'm telling you, we saw this earlier at the beginning of the race. Elizabeth Peters jumps out like a cannon, but then remembers that she's at Atlanta and reels it back in. We're not seeing that this time. She's gone. She says, forget about this. I don't care about tires. Christian Delgado, you're going to have to come catch me. Evan Clapper, 3rd place. You're going to have to come catch me. Patrick McQuaid, forget about it. 4th place.
Well, here's the other thing I haven't brought up yet. Do you sacrifice tires for clean air? So how important we know how important clean air is on this next-gen car, on all the current tracks that they run in this series, the new hybrid Atlanta. Is it worth tire abuse to make sure you're out in point? Is that fresh air worth it? And I think that's what Lilith Peters is showing us right now.
I think what we're seeing right now is she's going to try it. She says, you know what? We're less than halfway through this race. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to see what clean air does on the nose of my car. And I'm going to forget about tires for a moment. I'm going to pull out, and right behind her, they're going 3 wide for second. Patrick McQuaid, David Hara, Christian Delgado. The rest of this group is like, I'm going to burn them up too. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, behind Lilith Peters, the pack of angry beavers is a buzzing as they are jostling for position. I mean, second, third, fourth, fifth. We can throw a blanket over these guys right now as they are crazy trying to snaking as we got caution back on the racetrack again.
Oh, caution comes out as Patrick McQuaid in that 77 was just about to challenge Lilith Peters for the lead. Let's see if we can't find out what the caution was for. Larry Garge, Chad Snyder, both in trouble.
Well, as we see, we got one guy there down along the inside retaining wall. 20's going for a ride. I think there was okay. We got multiple cars possibly here involved. Try to get you guys a better replay angle here queued up.
Yeah, as always.
And sometimes it's not as easy as just hitting replay. You know, you got to sit there and dial that time in, that timestamp and everything. It's harder than it looks. So here at this room, we got the 67. Oh, there we go. Just ran out of room. May not have known that that they had a position being filled beneath them. They make a little bit of contact and around they go.
Yeah, you saw the 67 and the 26 of Chad Snyder there get together just a little bit, and that's all it's going to take here coming out of turn 2 into the backstretch there. Unfortunately, Larry Garn's going to get involved with that. Meanwhile, up front, that's going to hand the lead to Patrick McQuaid as it looks like Lilith Peters decides to come back down pit road here out of that 47 along with Jonathan Hetrick, Evan Clapper, Tyrone Yo Jr., and Jeremy Flanagan, Adam Angerstein, and Nathan. We saw them all come down pit road early on as a group, and they're going to do it again here at lap 48.
But I mean, they can't keep coming down and getting tires. I mean, every 10, 15 laps. I mean, they don't have that many in the tank. So at some point here, they're going to have to start conserving these tires if they want any type of rubber on that racetrack. You know, as we're 30, 40 laps, 40, 30 laps remaining in this one.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Tires, as we said early on, is going to be an issue. What we're seeing here is a couple of different groups on a little bit different strategy. You know, McQuaid, Hara, Clark, they're all on the lap 39 strategy, including Purcell, Scott Leonard, that we haven't talked about much yet. But the just to highlight him real quick, the 14 machine of Scott Leonard is up 12 spots right now. Working with that front group in strategy, and he was last on pit road on lap 39, so 10 laps ago, pretty decent tires, sitting here in 8th. He's up 11 spots. Got a ways to go, but he's on that alternate tire strategy here, which differs a bit from the leaders who we saw on the last time they were in was lap 47. So things are going to shake up a little bit here.
Yeah, things are about to get put in the mixer and get set to high as we unpop these guys one more time. The 77 is going to pick it down to the Geico restart zone, and David McQuaid, Lightning McQuaid, is going to get back on the accelerator, push it to the floorboard, come back up through the gears as we are through the dog leg, and coming up to speed is currently already into turn 1. That's how fast you get up to speed here at this 1.5 mile oval. And caution, yet again, is back out on the racetrack.
Caution will fly, but that's Patrick McQuaid, not David. We'll get him figured out. David's back in third here, right here, David Hara. So yeah, a little bit of a mashup there, first, second, and third. The caution will fly again.
I guess SDK didn't like Lightning McQuaid because they were they were going through the remix of their names there. That's how I came up with David McQuaid.
No doubt. Here's Rodney Uberpacker, and the 5 machine is down in the grass. We're going to rewind it here a little bit because we didn't really get much of a good indication of what happened here. No crash result on our Take a look at the 5 here.
Yeah, the 5.
Going a little bit. It looks like he was checking up for some action on track. The 8 machine's already sideways.
Yeah, the 5 was reacting to something, and then out of nowhere just blankets the 8 machine, or is it the 5 machine? He just gives him the business, and that'll definitely throw out another caution flag. And Cliff, if you never say cautions breed cautions, that's currently what we have unfolding on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, they certainly do. You're absolutely right about that. Let's take a moment here as we're getting close to halfway. I love to bring out the driver information here and run from the field, but we'll see if we can get through it quickly. As well as possible. Patrick McQueen, we talked to him earlier on, sitting here first, but you gotta throw a grain of salt in there as we're not even halfway, or just about half, a little earlier than halfway, and you've got the lead, but you're on a different bit of a strategy as what I would consider the lead pack. That's the one of those beaters. So recently putting on the 47, so you got newer tires kind of mid-pack here, and when we go green, it's going to get very interesting as some of these front runners have a little bit older tires than have the pack behind them. So I think it's too early to really judge where this race is going to go. But currently sitting here in first place is Patrick. Newly dubbed tonight as Lightning McQuaid. Let's see if that 77 Muffler Man can hang on to this front position.
And let's see if that 77 can get thunderstruck and fire it up here and get that thing just ripping on the bottom side of this 1.5 bank high oval. As that pace truck is making its case for TV time here this evening. We've seen a lot of that Silverado out there in front. He's going to get a love tap there from the 5 machine as well.
As we see the wave around come around, get their lap back. That's a lucky dog right there.
But the other thing, Cliff, though, we really haven't seen, a full fuel run. And the big piece of data we're missing here is really what these tires are going to do over the course of 30, 40 laps. That's one big data point that we still don't have right now. And that could definitely, jostle the field, the accordion effect, comers and goers, if you will. Because like you said, we got a lot of fresh Dr. Feelgoods in the front and some Dr. Feelbads. I'm sorry, Dr. Feelbads at the front and Dr. Feelgoods in the back. So they could virtually just, flip-flop.
So I'm taking a look here now at Rodney Uberpacker, who's going to get that wave around. He's going to come around and join the back of the pack there as we get ready to go. Uberpacker here, shown in 21st. He's got a ways to go, but gets his lap back here. So that's ever so important because we're still early into this race. That 5 Toyota Uberpacker, he's gonna be able to kind of get a fresh start here. He will roll off 21st, but he's back on that lead lap, and that's so important. It's hard to get a lap back once you fall back a lap down. So for Rodney in that 5 Toyota machine, he's got some work to do, but the whole door just opened for him.
Right, and I guess that's the silver lining of all these cautions. If you got involved in, in an undesirable position early in a wreck, you were able to make up those laps, and that's really probably, like you said, the calling card for some of these drivers out there. Is we're going to try this one more time. The 77 is locked on the flag, and he's going to hit the gas right through the floorboards on the accelerator pedal, firing off the button as he doesn't get as good as the restart he did the last time. And the 73 has had a couple shots at practicing now as he's going to set a bead on the back of the 77. Going to try to draft him hard up to him down that back straightaway in that Toyota Camry TRD. See if he can possibly slingshot him into 3 and 4, or maybe try him on the outside. That line should come into play if we ever start to get some more laps on these tires before we see another yellow.
The Lightning McQuaid here in first position puts that floorboard to the test as he puts the accelerator pedal through it. Lewis Clark, right, live from England, as we talk about it, a big shout out to him as he is coming from overseas virtually to race here tonight. He is giving the 77 machine a run for his money as David Hara also comes into position here, fighting for that second spot. We're going to see a competition here for the top 3. Hara's up 14 spots. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, Hara is definitely showing at times that he has a fast, F-A-S-T, piece of equipment out there on the racetrack. Consistently been one of the biggest movers on the racetrack. And if you want to talk about big movers, but keeping on the low profile side of things, that's going to be the 14 of Scott Leonardo da Vinci. That man is up 13 positions as well, and that could be part of his game plan. No one's really paying attention to me. I'm under the radar. That could fall right into his wheelhouse. That man right there, we haven't talked about him much, but he is up 13 positions since we initially went green 58 laps ago. Oh, and there's someone else spinning off the nose. Massive power slide. He's going to save it. What a save in the back of the pack. That was spectacular.
I'm not exactly sure who okay, we grabbed him. Christian Delgado. What a save for him as he's coming out of the corners there. And we almost had a wreck there, but he saved it. Yes, all of what you just said, completely agree with, and I had all kinds of things I wanted to say until Delgado got way sideways there and I lost complete thought. But Lewis Clark, David Hara fighting for first here as that 73 machine is going to grab the point now. David Hara will relinquish that position to him, but Hara did lead this race for a fraction of a second there. Gonna relinquish that to the Lewis Clark of the England team, and for all intents and purposes, I think as far as the 14 machine sitting in 6th place, I feel like he's got the right strategy going. I feel like he's taking it easy, and in the long run, taking it easy is gonna win the race here tonight.
Right, I'm tracking you. I'm feeling, reminiscent of Kevin Harvick. All those years he was so dominant at this track where he got the coined, catchphrase, Mr. Where did he come from? And that could be very well what the 14 and company has in plan in store for us tonight. It's fallen right into his wheelhouse because, he's basically been under the radar, even on our noses. We've been getting caught in all the action around him. We forget to keep mentioning this guy, and we should be, which I'm glad we're doing it right now, giving Scott the recognition he deserves. But look for him to be a potential dark horse or a game changer late in the race as we get down to the final laps to go. But how about the 67 back on the move? The 62nd of Justin Horton. He was up near the front early, got mired back in traffic a little bit. Believe he was caught in one of those wrecks. And he's got it pointing in the right direction, handling good, keeping on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Bottom side of the racetrack, but keep in mind that bottom side of the racetrack is going to eat your tires. I know we've been talking about it. Y'all at home can say, it's just tires, they'll be fine. But I promise you, keep digging away at that bottom side lap after lap, and you will have nothing left under that rubber.
No, it's like being out there on a sheet of ice all of a sudden. Any type of input you put on the steering wheel, it just feels like all grip is gone, and you're at the mercy of wherever that car wants to go. And a lot of times, that's how it does feel at Atlanta when you got 40-plus laps on these tires. But, someone's going to have to start migrating to the top. Maybe it's the 9 machine, as I'm saying that right now. the 9 may be the first one to go up there and test the waters all the way around the racetrack, because that's where the speed's going to be. As you get more banking up there, it's going to be the longer way around, but it's going to be faster when that grip goes down, because you have the benefit of the banking to carry all your momentum through the corner.
Yeah, we talk about him now. Adam Agassi working that high side, very, reminiscent of. I just drew a blank, so forget it. But working that top side, letting the tires kind of dictate where he runs, and I think he's letting that car drift up a little bit and work that high side. So, 65 and 134, we got about halfway to go here, and that 9 car really see what it'll feel like towards the end of this run.
Well, not only that, you can carry so much more momentum up there, right? You're going to get a good run out of the corner, which is going to help you on your straightaway speeds, especially with the dog leg and everything else. I imagine as we start to see him pick up more positions out there on the racetrack, other teams, other drivers might start migrating up top too as well.
Yeah, Casey Kane, that's who I was thinking of in that 9 machine. Casey Kane really worked that high line. He's famous for it. Adam Agassi run this 9 machine, that Capital Toyota. Working that high side not too long ago, very indicative of what Casey Kane used to do.
Oh, the 9's going to get a power slide, lose it. He's going to catch it and save it. It continues straight. Another miraculous save. These guys are good, Cliff, because I thought there's 2 times in a row right there. I thought we were going back to caution, and these guys were able to corral their race car and keep it pointed straight.
Yeah, I mentioned to you, Matt, early on, this group as a whole, they love their long flag green runs, and they'll do everything they can to make sure that happens. We took a quick look at Patrick McQuaid here. He's fallen back to 8th place as we were talking about the 9 machine. So not sure what really happened to him. Probably just kind of thinking twice about how hard he was pushing his car and decided to let up a little bit. But I wanted to call out second place here, Cameron Harris, who past champion here, he's been very quiet tonight. Honestly, I didn't even know he was in this race until just now. Has made his way up 18 spots to second place as he's battling here with Kyle Purcell and David Harra, but man, I'm telling you, I honestly didn't even know he was here. Very quiet tonight.
Cliff, you took the words right out of my mouth, and I'm glad we're on the same page, because I was just going to go to him as the biggest mover of the race and the current shocker right now, like you said, up to second spot. And this is really the first time these drivers have actually had laps turned under green flag competitions with laps on their tires. So some of these guys are really starting to just get a sense of what their car is going to do, under current green flag situations right now. So they're doing their homework right now, right, Cliff?
Yeah, they absolutely are. I'll apologize to Cameron Harris. Didn't realize you were in the race yet. Hell of a job being quiet in third place. Unfortunately, everyone's chasing down Lewis Clark here. Best lap of 31:01 in the entire race. Everyone's kind of chasing him down right now, and I love the fact that he's in England right now. He's racing virtually with us. David Harra here sitting in second, Kyle Purcell sitting third. Matt, go ahead.
Now, the British are coming, and they're coming for all us Americans out here on the racetrack, and they are large and in charge. Lewis Clark out in front. He is dominating right now with that 73 machine, as he is just running consistent lap times right now. Cliff, is it possible to go on board just to see how that car's handling? Because he's still making some decent time around here as he continues to add time advantage and gap that field lap after lap.
I was hoping you'd ask. We're going to go live on board with Lewis Clark. I apologize for the wacky There we go. Lewis Clark coming from you live in London, England, virtually to lead this race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. What a wild world we live in.
So, Cliff, thanks for dialing up the in-car camera. So we're going to take you on board the 73 machine, and we can see he's starting to migrate up top to the top side of the racetrack, almost just a couple feet off the wall. He's going to arc it in. He's able to rotate down to the center of the corner quite nicely, not fighting the wheel much at all, and he's able to slowly transition back on the gas pedal with still being in the corner. And you can't ask any more out of that race car in Atlanta, especially the old one. That's a good driving race car right now. And that makes total sense why we're seeing him just continuing to pulling away from the field, doing a masterful job of managing his equipment over the long run.
We'll jump back on board with David Harris coming from the nose of his car. He is about 0.08 seconds back as we see the 57 machine of Evan Clapper battling there for the second and third spot. What an amazing run we've got here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Some newcomers here, Evan Clapper, trying to make a name for himself in the All-American Racing League Cup which is brought to you by Blue Gray Plastic Fabrication.
Yes, we were on board there. I think Evan Clapper almost became the slapper and bumped him out of the way. It was close, but they don't touch and move Evan Clapper, the 57 machine, up to second P2. He's currently going in the right direction. And Cliff, we talked about it about 35 laps ago. Comers and goers, we're seeing these cars that were in the back of the field on those fresher tires going towards the front, and the guys that were at the front are slowly drifting to the back.
Yeah, we sure are. Sean Purcell in the 00 machine, we saw him successful early on. Had a little bit of trouble there, fell back. He's coming up through the field now again, sitting in 8th. He's got some work to do, but still, we're early. It's Atlanta. It's a little bit early. The sun's starting to set. We're at 78 of 134, so don't go away. We got a lot of racing left here tonight. We will jump side by side as we go pay some bills, and we'll be right back. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. racetrack there as Lewis Clark, our leader, is going to come into the pits. Going to hand off the lead to the 57 of Evan Klepper.
Yep, as Lewis Clark had enough of the Dr. Feelgoods. Dr. Feelbads, he's going to come down pit road and completely revise how that race car feels out on the racetrack. And when I mean revise, I mean a set of 4 Dr. Feelgoods. He'll be smiling when he makes his way off pit road. But he's going to, like you said, he's going to give the lead to the 57 of Evan Clapper, who's up 2 spots. Remember, he started up near the front. Then he just found himself in a situation throughout those restarts and all that mayhem, just kind of fell back in the field a little bit. But over the course of the long run, we said the cream would rise to the top, and he's showing he has that mental toughness. He's got what it takes to maintain, race his race, not the racetrack. And he's out front right now. Currently has a nice differential too, by the way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Big shout out to Evan Clapper. Making a name for himself here in the AARL Blue-Gray Plastic Fabrication Cup Series. Newcomer to the series and really fast right out of the gate. We saw him fast at Daytona, fast here at Atlanta. Currently leading this race. Peters behind him in second. Justin Horton holding on to third. But I'm really excited to see what this 57 machine has to hold for the whole season.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're new in a series, right? I mean, you want to come in, you don't want to, raise a bunch of attention to yourself, especially for the wrong reasons. You want to come in, and the 7's going to catch a piece of the grass. As the 28 is on pit road, I'm not sure if he was forced down there or went down there to avoid a wreck, but that TRD Camry, he was coming through the pasture, and that is definitely not the preferred line as you're going down the front straightaway.
I noticed that 7 and 28 were kind of playing chicken and a mouse, cat and mouse, whatever you want to call it there. The 28 of Terrio kind of faking him out there. 7 comes down. I don't really know what happened there. But, a little bit of confusion there getting on the pit road or whether or not the 7 and or 28 were going to come. But here we are, lap 87 of 134. The 7 machine makes his pit. The 28 of Terrio coming out of the pit road right now.
Got the 7 coming down pit road right now too. Travis Rodriguez, he got caught in a potential cat-mouse game that neither of them won. Atlanta decided they were going to win.
Yeah,
and someone
machine there was some damage.
Yeah, he had a broken axle up front at minimum. And the worst part about that is having to crawl around this racetrack as the caution flag does not come out, and you have to go to work on that race car. That is the worst feeling for that driver strapped in that vehicle right now as the 57 continues to carry the torch here in ATL. But guess who's back? Back again. Lilith Peters is knocking on the door in second. She always seems to be able to put herself back into position. She's there early in the run for whatever reason. It could be strategy. Falls back out of the picture. And then near the end of the run, she picks her way right back up to where she left off. And the 1 is on the assault on the top side of the racetrack. Top shelf where Mama hides the cookies.
I'll tell you the reason. This 1 machine of Lilith Peters is always bad fast. This car and or team, Kaiju Cat Motorsports, they came into this thing knowing that Lilith Peters had the drive to win. She came into the All-American Racing League as a part-timer, won a couple of races, really consistent, and ever since then, she's been a force to be reckoned with. And if you're not up on your game, Lilith Peters is going to beat you.
Yeah, so I started doing some homework. As you know, Cliff, you and I are going to be paired up for the long term for this series, this season, and I'm so thankful to be up here with you in the booth. But I had to go do some homework, and I found out that 1 car's performance tonight, that's not a fluke. I believe she had 4 wins last season, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. 4 wins for that 1 machine, and the season before that, she was kind of a newcomer. running a part-time schedule and just amazed everybody. Got a couple of wins. Comes back, running for a championship, wins 4 races on the season. And honestly, I want to, if I was a betting man, I'd say this is her season.
Oh, sometimes you want to be in the spotlight, and if you're Lilith Peters and you want to be in the spotlight, the best way to do that is doing what she's doing right now. Other times, other drivers survive, in the shadows, just lurking, popping out, catching you by surprise. We still have this entire season to play out, so we'll figure out what strategy and how it all unfolds. But you got to make sure you guys hit that, smash that like button, ring that bell to make sure you get notified when these guys are live doing battle each and every Tuesday night right here on the racetrack. Brought to you by SRM, of course.
I'm happy you brought that up, Mr. Matt, and I wanted to highlight a driver out here running for Kaiju Cat Motorsports, the one and only Jeremy Flanagan, a.k.a. Zorku, as he's actually coming down to the pits to make his pit stop here in the 72 machine. The reason I want to highlight him, and I'm sorry, is because he's got a huge internet following, and you don't know this, Matt, because you weren't with us last season. But Jeremy Flanagan here, a.k.a. Zorku, has an internet following known as Zorku Nation, and they are usually here blowing up our chat, giving praise and highlights to Jeremy Flanagan. So I want to take this moment to say, Zorku Nation, I know you're out there. I know you're watching, because you do. You guys support this guy, and rightfully so. Great race car driver. Great person all around. So let us know that you're here, that you're watching, because last season we heard from you a lot. You were very vocal as Zorku Nation, and we want to hear how you're feeling. We want to hear from you, Jeremy Flanagan, the 72 machine, Zorku Nation. Let's go.
That's right, 72, Zorku Nation. You learn something new every day, and I just learned something right there. But you know what, Cliff? We love hearing from everybody in that chat during these live race broadcasts. You guys interacting with us. We cannot appreciate that enough. Getting your perspective on the race, and it definitely helps us up here in the broadcast booth. So if you got a question, chime in. Feel free. Cliff and I always love to hear what you guys have to say. As racing's starting to pick back up on the racetrack, a couple steps in the higher octane direction. See here, honing in on the 27 right now of Cameron Harris. The 27 of Cameron Harris, he currently is occupying the... Okay, that's got to be a scoring error. He is in the... I do not have him on my tracker for some reason.
Well, I'll tell you here, Cameron Harris, that 27 Chevy, is up 19 spots to the lead right now. He hasn't pitted since last 81. However, he is currently our leader in the Coors Light machine. Right behind him, on track, 72 with Jeremy Flanagan. However, David Hara is sitting in second, and Patrick McQuaid is going to round out our top 3. As I say that, I would actually like to take this moment to go ahead and run through the field. Cameron Harris, we talked about quickly in the first position here as he holds on. He's got to come down to pit road soon, as these tires do not last forever. David Hare in the 15 machine is up 14 spots from where he started, with second place, about 2 seconds back to the 77 Muffler Man machine of Patrick McQuaid sitting here in fourth place. Scott Leonard, Da Vinci sitting here in fourth. He's up 15 spots from where he started in that 14 machine. And right behind him, he's got the 10 Kyle Purcell, the top Toyota of the race, sitting here in fifth. Joshua Hetrick, the second Toyota in the race, sitting here in sixth. the 25 machine. He's up 2 spots from where he started. Pretty good run overall for Hendrick. Peter Terrio, our reigning champion in the 28 Ford. He is our top Ford of the race here, sitting here in 7th. Lilith Peters here, sitting here in 8th place in the number 1 machine. We saw her very successful early on. Let's see if she can get it back here as we run lap 101 of 134. Justin Horton in the 67 right behind her, who's up 5 spots, gonna roll 9th. Evan Clapper in the 57, newcomer to the series, rolling off 10th. Big shout out to him. We saw him early on running some really fast laps up front. Do not count him out. So as we jump back up front, Cameron Harris in the 27 machine, currently running first position, past champion here in the All-American Racing League Cup Series.
Thank God my SDK decided it was time to work again, and it updated and changed my entire perspective on everything. And it looks like the 15 is getting ready to go do battle with the 27 of Harris. That's David Hara up 15 spots, and he's going to check out, drop on by. The 27 looks like he just let him go. Could be a smart play by, on his decision, saving those Dr. Feelgoods. But check that man off the box, leading the race. Check the 15. David Hara to the point, carrying the torch right now around the racetrack as we're working lap 103. So we're starting to wind this race down. We can only expect the octane and the intensity to go up from here.
Well, Matt, you said it yourself. Those Dr. Feelgoods turn into Dr. Feelbads. And as we say, Cameron Harris in that 27 machine is going to come down. He's going to exchange those Dr. Feelbads for some Dr. Feelgoods. And he's going to come out here like an angry teenager and rip off some laps. But we will see how that plays out. Currently, the 15 machine is going to take that top spot. He's going to take his Dr. Feel okays. And he's going to run lap 104 and 434. So as we say that, we're going to step side by side. Do not go away. You won't miss any of the action. Live back here in Atlanta, David Harrett in that 15 machine. He's up 15 spots from the restart. Put a clinic here on, but unfortunately going to get passed here by the 77 of David Patrick.
I was just going to say that storm has cycled, and when there's thunder, there's lightning, and McQueen is back to the lead as the caution flag comes out. As David Harrah decided to go up and kiss the outside wall there, give it a small taste before the caution flag flies. But look who's on point. Just like in the movies. Not saying we scripted this, but McQueen is large and in charge right now.
We're gonna get so much hate mail when McQueen hears this and he watches this, broadcast back. He's just gonna. I am gonna get so many emails from McQueen and his team. He's gonna hate this. But
I even put so much effort into the read. I mean, when they're come on.
I don't. I'm ashamed of myself for not realizing this season. But maybe the 77 needs to, embrace this.
Well, or maybe it's a good thing because, I mean, if I'm the villain, I mean, that's just going to make you look like the angel. I mean, so really it'd be a good play by your part if this goes bad for me.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Let's see if Patrick McQuaid, a.k.a. Lightning McQuaid, can come back to, put something together here at Atlanta and win a race. My hats are off because Patrick McQuaid last season, I just want to throw this out there. He won like the first 3 or 4 races in the season, from like Daytona to who knows where else. And it was a real good question of, can anybody beat McQuaid? And then his internet like shit the bed, for lack of a better term, and then he just disappeared. So let's see if McQuaid, with good internet, can come back and dominate the series again.
And I guess that was a story point last season, the internet woes of McQuaid. And we know that's the black hole in any virtual esport. The one thing you can't control is that internet connection. But if he has a stable connection now, and he's already good in that race car, and we know he's fast, I mean, McQuaid, could be the spoiler, when the championship flag falls. But how about Purcell on that pit stop just went spiritual status and just leapfrogged everybody coming off a pit road? It was like he just floated on by him.
Purcell leapfrogging everybody is going to put him where he really needs to be with, surprise, 25 laps to go. We are down to the nitty-gritty here, and this seems to be a common theme here with the All-American Racing League. All of a sudden, we go lap after lap with consistent racing, and boom! All of a sudden, we're like within 30 to go, and all for lack of a better term, shit hits the fan.
Yeah, you're right. The gloves come off, and that sportsmanship and that give and take goes out the window. And I think we've eclipsed that point right now at this point in time.
We have.
So
I just want to throw out there, we've got Purcell, McQuaid, Hera, and Peters in our top 4, who's just Martin rounding out our top 5, and those are some names that you can't get out of your mouth here when you talk about the All-American Racing League. Like, those are some big names. You're going to have an exciting 20 or so to go when we get back to green flag racing.
Yeah, we're going to find out who's going to be the top of the penthouse here in Atlanta, because we have a swarm of angry bees up front who all want to be top dog, and only one can take the checkered flag. So we're going to let them duke it out ATL style. But first, we got to get back to green flag racing as that iRacing.com Silverado leads the field.
Well, as we come down the backstretch, and we got 24 to go, to those at home watching this on your big screens, 24 laps, that seems like a lot. But I will tell you, as a past driver and, once in my lifetime, I sat in a race car seat, let's talk about that. It comes down to guts. As the car comes off. Go ahead,
Comes down to guts and glory, and look who's out front. It's Purcell, Kyle Type 10 machine to the point. He's going to stand on the gas pedal as that 10 Spot 5 machine is going to rocket out towards the front, but he's not going to be able to check out from the herd as that 77 Lightning McQuaid has got the thunder rolling on the top side of the racetrack, and he is going to paint a bead on the back of that race car, going to try to get him starting out his rear view window as he's got Lilith Peters behind him. Is she going to go with him? No, she's going to split down the inside of the racetrack as she paints a bead on the 10.
Side by side is Peters and McQuaid as they come across the line, and everyone is holding their breath as we are at lap 113 of 134. Can Peters hold off Hara, Terrio, and McQuaid, third, fourth, and fifth, as they come down into turn 3 at Atlanta Motor Speedway?
Yeah, this track has just hit tumultuous status in the form of these race car drivers giving it 110% on the racetrack. They are changing lanes, lines every single time they come by the start-finish line, fighting for every inch of real estate out there on the racetrack. And don't forget, you still got the 72 in his nation out here with us in Spirit and Atlanta. He's still got time to come up there and be a factor. A lot of these drivers, in fact, all on the lead lap still have time to be a factor. Just so many different scenarios playing out in this high-octane side-by-side racing. Anything can change in a moment's notice as the 72 is going to work underneath the 27 machine. Oh, and he's going to split the difference on the 25. So you can see how the draft really affects these cars, even at this old configuration. If you're able to, get a good beat on the guy in front of you, you can just get another, 7 to 10 miles an hour and just blow right by the guy who's sitting still if you get a good push.
Cameron Harrison, the 27, sitting here at 11th, going to run the fastest lap of the race, 30.80. He is battling hard against the 72, sitting here at 14th of Jeremy Flanagan. Mid-pack, really exciting. We always look towards the leader for that excitement, but unfortunately, most times, sitting here mid-pack is where the real excitement is.
Yeah, and that's certainly where the action is right now. The 14 and the 72 are going at it old school style. The 72 needs to be able to wash up the racetrack a little bit, and the 14's been hitting them down there, but now decides to move up the racetrack just a little bit, and that may give the 72 the exit off the corner he needs to clear the spot. But the 14's able to charge back on the outside with the momentum, pulling a little bit of a draft off the 25 machine. And that's going to carry him around the nose of the 72. The 72 is going to fall back in line and maybe under the clutches of the 16 as well.
So the 14 of Scott Leonard has pitted the last lap on the same exact strategy here as Jeremy Flanagan, the 72. So these two are battling it out, equal rubber at this point. And they are side by side, lap after lap. Huge shout out to them for keeping it sane and able to work this out together and see whose rubber is going to meet the road exceptionally well. As we jump up front to number 10, Kyle Purcell, leading this one. Lewis Peters and Peter Terrio are past champions.
Somebody check that Purcell car for a flux capacitor, because what that man did on that last pit stop was, I'm telling you, it was supernatural. And just out of nowhere, just like last week at Daytona, it's coming down to the end, and Purcell magically appears at the front of the field with a fast, dominant race car, and that's what he has right now. That thing is ripping.
You gotta be careful because Purcell ×2 in this series. You've got a couple of them, but right now it's Kyle on the point. Rose Peters is now going to drop to the bottom and take away that lead position from the one machine. Peter Terrio, our past champion of 28 Ford, sitting there right in third. We've got Chevy, Ford, Toyota battling it out for the win here at Atlanta. Old school style. Let's see how this one plays out.
And that's how it should be. You should have 3 different manufacturers all battling for the lead on a good day. That's what you want to see from a competitive standpoint. And that's what you have out there on the racetrack right now, where out of nowhere, Lilith Peters flexes the muscle, gives Purcell the kryptonite, and she's going to go to the point back out in front as we are working lap 122 of lap 130 laps. We're under 10 to go.
Peter Terrio in that 28 machine is going to grab that bottom line. He is feeding the bottom machine as he, can. He's holding on to that white line. A little bit of a spread out there as we are 4th and 5th back. Some I don't know what to call it.
Caution out there on the racetrack. That's what we got. Caution.
You're absolutely right, as caution will fly. 12 to go here.
And I apologize for interrupting you with that reaction, but that was because we had cars just turning trajectory into, they were going all over the place. It was like they did the Three Stooges out there at 180 miles an hour. The 28 involved, he's gonna get in contact in that Fanatec machine with the outside wall, and I believe there was a couple other participants that were also involved in that deal. So it looks like he's going to get aero loose, feel the downforce off his car. He's going to break traction, turn down the track, and it's all she wrote from there. He's just hanging on for the ride at that point.
Yeah, aero loose is the name of the game right there, as he was just alone, straight sideways on the wheel.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was watching that unfold real time, and I just couldn't contain myself.
No, perfectly okay, and I appreciate you for interrupting me. Like, anytime there's something important to talk about, let's do it. Kyle Purcell is going to sit there in second now, with the one Norway sitting there in first, right in front of him. We talked about her earlier. She's a hell of a race car driver, and came into the series, part-time, and then just really made a name for herself, and in this race right now.
Right, but the last thing you wanted to see if you were in the one camp was this caution. Because all I'm thinking is right now, question one, do they have tires left? If they do have tires, if Lilith stays out, they're all going to come down pit road. And if they're all going to do vice versa, right? So if you're the one and you got tires, do you come down pit road? Because I almost feel like if you stay out, everyone will come down, but we could be out of tires, because how many times have we seen that happen to Jimmy Johnson in situations like this?
Yeah.
But maybe the saving grace is just not having the Dr. Feelgoods in stock in the pits.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But in this case, I'm looking at the top 5. We have Penny last and last 108. And it looks like they're staying out. And
yes.
If they stay out, we've got 10 to go. We're probably going to get I don't want to say it, but we're probably going to get a Speedway checker.
It's like Phil Collins. You can feel it coming in the air tonight, especially, like we saw last week at Daytona. I mean, we took it deep into overtime. I mean, we're iRacing basically said, that's it, boys.
You're absolutely right. There's a buzz. There's a feeling in the air tonight. Sitting there in the first position with the #1 car, Liz Peters, I love you to death, but you probably got some reckoning coming. I feel like someone's coming after you. With 10 laps to go, there's a big old target. But I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of respect here, and especially for that one car, Peters. She's a young woman here making a name for herself, and
she's doing a fantastic job. Not to cut you off there, and I'm sorry, but you have to think that the 10 of Kyle Purcell, the 67 of Horton and company, they're going to try to work together here too, right? Because we see how critical that draft is. You're almost going to want to push somebody in front of the point car, whether that's Lilith Peters or someone else, and then have the opportunity to draft back up on them and pass them as you come to the start-finish line. That's how I would approach this right now with the way this thing's setting up.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Kyle Purcell, Justin Horton, Rodney Woodpecker, all of these guys right behind the one on Willis Peters has a really good opportunity here to capitalize on this last possible green flag run here. 9 to go, green flag is out. The one gets a shot out of cannon right behind her is the 67 and the 10 of Kyle Purcell. Let's see how this plays out. 8 to go.
Yeah, that one is just a restart machine. Every single restart, she's out front. She can check out on these guys. She just hooks and lets that thing rip. But we see these guys run her back down, and that's because she's out there by herself, does not have the help of the draft that are currently working to the advantage of Kyle Purcell and Justin Horton on her heels in the second and third position. But the laps are winding down. We're down. This is lap 128. We're going to lap 130. So we've got 2 laps to go. 2 more circuits around this 1.5-mile oval for Lilith Peters, potentially the dark horse in this race as we're wrecking behind him.
Big wreck behind him. 7 to go. Caution's going to fly. Peters in that one machine. Last pitted on lap 108. Just ready to see this one come to an end. Unfortunately, she's going to have to woe it down. They're going to get stacked back up. Willis Peters will have to redo it.
Well, I'll tell you what, if she can do it like that again, I mean, that was textbook. The one-man army, the one-woman army out there, and she held her own and gave those boys the business. But you got to imagine their hearts are breaking in the one pit right now. That's the last thing you wanted to see. But we did say we could feel it. That buzz is in the air, and it appears overtime is upon us.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Matt. As we get woed up, we'll get them gathered back up, and we'll get ready for a green light.
I'm curious if anyone has any tires left.
We talked about it very early and all throughout this race. Tires. So now we got Peters sitting here in first. She last pitted on lap 108. And math is hard, so who knows where we're at. But Horton, Purcell, Hara, Uberbecker, Horton and Purcell, top 3, all pitted on lap 108. But then you got David Hara sitting here in the 4th position, 12 spots in the 15 Chevy. He last pitted on lap 103. So he's got a bit of an advantage here over the top 3. So does Hara, does he have any real advantage as we go back to green? We're going to have 3 laps to try it. And does he have what it takes rubber-wise and grip-wise to overtake Purcell, Horton, and Peters?
Well, I guess let's dissect this, right? We've seen at times restart woes with some laps on the tires. So if the one restarts like she has been, I'm going to say not off the rip, it's not going to be a contest because she is so good on the restarts. However, if that goes in the other direction and we see some trouble spinning the tires on the restart and the 15 bites and hooks, that could be a complete game changer here. So I think what I'm saying here is, Cliff, the restart here is going to be very critical in how this overtime session is going to play out. If you spin, you're going to the back. But the wild card, that tire, as you said, the rubber offset, those Dr. Still Feel Goods are still feel goods. And in fact, they're feeling much better right now if you're in the 15 car because you have an advantage. But imagine if you had 4 fresh ones in the pit. I mean, that would be like playing Mario Kart and hitting the nitrous mushroom out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, hoping, for the 15s, he's got some wild mushrooms in his back pocket.
Well, they don't call him Hillbilly for nothing, so he's probably got something up his sleeve.
Hillbillies usually do. I've said this over the past couple of seasons. Lois Peters in that one machine. She is a young force to be reckoned with, and you are going to have to take this away from her. Hopefully, we get a chance to talk to her on the podium tonight. Stay tuned at the end of this race. For Sim Racing Media, we will talk to our top three and get their perspective of the whole entire race. But we'll see. Peters, Horton, Purcell, top three. We got 3 to go. We're at Atlanta. Tires are an issue. It's a hot, slick racetrack. They're coming down the backstretch, clearing their mind, getting ready to go green for what is at least 3 laps to go. This is going to get exciting. Do not go away.
No, certainly do not go away. And we're about to answer the question of the hour. Can the one-woman army of Lilith Peters hold off and outlast the boys in the field? If she can replicate her success on the last restart, she can again. Here we go in the Geico restart zone. We're waiting for her to fire off and bang. Oh, she gets a phenomenal restart. Little bit of restart shenanigans there, and she plays it perfectly. But the 67's also going to shoot out of a cannon and time it perfectly. So it's going to be the 1 to 67 in close pursuit by the 15 of David Hara as they run right now.
The one of Lilith Peters knows just how important it is to get out in front and hold off the 67 and 15 of Horton and Hara. She knows this could end at any moment. White flag is out. Next flag will end it. Can the one of Peters hold on?
Can the one of Peters hold on? But the Jamboree is coming with the Hillbilly. They got that car charged up, and he is flying around that speedway as he is almost to the back bumper of Lilith Peters. Can she make it a half lap around this race facility one more time? I believe this should be the... I am wrong. We still have one more lap to go, I believe. As the 15 is going to go to the top side of the racetrack, it's going to be a dogfight to the line.
Side by side, the 15 looks like he may have gotten the win. We're going to have to hold on here and let iRacing tell us exactly who won. But Peters, Hara, side by side across the line there. The gap looking like less than 10th of a second.
Oh my, very reminiscent of Kevin Harvick's first win at Atlanta in 2001. They had to go to scoring then. We have to go to scoring now as it was too close to call. What master,
ladies and gentlemen, is it Hara? Is it Lilith Peters? We will know in just a moment here. It looks like they're going to give the win to David Hara in the 50 machine by a fraction of a second. 300ths to be exact.
Oh, you pointed him out there, Cliff. Tip of the hat to you, the dark horse. David Hara, the 15, he's going to come up and steal the cookies from Lilith Peters. He's going to win here at Atlanta. He didn't. I think he only led the last quarter or last eighth of that lap, or coming down to the start-finish line. But that's all you got to win, Cliff. That's all you have to do. You got to be the first.
Yeah, you're right. The most important lap is the last one, and Hara is going to lead by 0.04 seconds.
I mean, my hair is literally standing on the back of my neck right now. That looks so much like Kevin Harvick's first win at Atlanta. Oh my God!
You're absolutely right. So,
it's just. Heartbreak. Heartbreak for Lilith Peters out there, but we can't say enough about the job that she did competing out there tonight with all these big dogs in this series. And she definitely proved she belongs here tonight and just about took that one. But 15 had other plans.
I don't think she thought she was going to come in second, to be honest. The top three, Hara, Peters, and Horton, hats are off. Top three. Amazing job. Let's go ahead and get the 67 here and get a word from him.
'67 and Wonder played a little bumper tag down there.
Yeah,
why not?
I'm trying.
Why not? You guys been dogfighting all night. Get a little fun in there before you got to take it back to the hauler.
My tires were.
Cliff.
Hey, how's it going,
Matt in
guys?
the booth. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing? Are you guys there?
I thought maybe you guys jumped to a Discord channel and I got left in the dust, but I guess it's me and you in the broadcast booth. And we've seemed to have lost Cliff, so I'll take over from him. Justin comes home, third place finisher tonight. Justin, you started up near the front. This race was high octane action packed from flag to flag. You're able to fight and claw, work your way back up to third. How was that race from your perspective tonight, sir?
It was quite the race. It was a handful tonight. I had some runs that weren't great. We got really lucky, and we were able to get to the ending. We got down to the final pit run, and we were one of only, I think, 4 or 5 cars that had enough fuel to make it completely to the end, and then a caution came out, and then it evened the field. We there was a caution that came out with about 15 to go, and we pitted earlier and used up one of our sets of tires we had for the race, and everyone got to pit for tires on that 15 to go caution. So we were up front with no tires, and these cars lose a lot of speed, and we were very lucky to be able to come out for Kaiju Cat Motorsports. We got 2 and 3, and then we got 11th and 10th, 3 in the top 10 today.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly a strong performance for everyone under that garage roof, that umbrella. And that was one of the main storylines coming into this race, the importance of tires and just being able to showcase what old school Atlanta does to these tires at this racetrack to all the viewers at home. You come home third tonight. Is there anything you think you could have done different? I mean, I know we've had so many cautions that kind of just reset and restacked the field, which kind of threw strategy out the window. Per se, as far as the long run games go, but you think there was any different scenario where you could have ran them down up front?
It's, to be honest, we were on 27 lap old tires when it came to us not being able to hit that pit stop with 15 to go, and Hera had 15 lap newer tires. So did everyone pretty much behind us. I feel like for the circumstances, this was. Like, you always want to win. The top 3 is a fantastic feeling, mostly after coming in second last week. You want the wins, no doubt. But with the tires we had compared to everyone else and the difference it makes, even on a short run, this was probably the best outcome that could happen. Not getting involved on the last lap wreck. A very pleasing finish with circumstances, and I'm very happy to be where I finished.
Well said, and it's got to, I was going to say, it must feel like a victory to you guys and everyone in your camp. Well, Justin, you have some great consistency, back-to-back podium finishes to start the season off. Who do you want to thank on that 67 machine? Who helps you get it done week in and week out?
I got to thank the league sponsor, Blue Gray's Plastic Fabrication. Thank you guys very much for sponsoring the Cup Series. I got to thank Kaiju Cat Motorsports for having me. I got to thank Jeremy Flanagan, Lilith Peters, Evan Clapper, massive support system as always. They keep me absolutely week to week trying to do my best, making sure I get the practice in, making sure I know where I need to be, what I need to do. I want to thank Luna Steak Sauce. I want to thank Foxfire Foods. everyone that makes this happen. You guys are broadcasting. I love my team, love my teammates. An absolute. Not everyone got to have the finish they were hoping for, but I'm glad me and Lilith were able to get the podiums for the team. I'm glad Evan was able to get the top 10. Just a great race today. Could have gone many different ways, and in the end, it was able to make something really good, and it's a great start to the season for us.
And there he is, your third place finisher tonight, able to outlast the Mayhem, utilizing every person on that team to execute here at Atlanta to come home third, the 67 of Justin Horton here tonight. Justin, thank you. We appreciate your time. Up next, I believe we're going to have Lilith Peters, our second place finisher tonight. Lilith, you got me.
Hi.
Lilith, what a phenomenal run here tonight. I'm sure you know I'm new to this series. I don't have the experience that Cliff does, but you put on a masterful performance here tonight. You were up there, the one-woman army, just annihilating these guys restart after restart. It was almost supernatural watching you, the way you could just launch that car on the takeoff. And it looks like you're going to win the race. And the 15 comes out of nowhere and just inches you at the line. You come home second. How are you feeling right now? Take me through it.
It was a really good race. I'm glad we went with Old Atlanta because obviously that was a classic Old Atlanta finish right there. I didn't win it, but I had a lot of fun. I do really good on these super tire wear tracks. I love them. So I wish it could have gone green. We would have easily had Kaiju Cat, like all of us, in the top 5 if that went green there. But we still made something out of it, and I'm glad I finished at least the top 3.
Yeah, you definitely made something out of it, and I know you got to be heartbroken, but, I mean, you proved you belong here with these guys, and I started doing some homework last week, and I know you won 4 races last year, and I believe you're running full-time this year, but just making a statement here tonight at Atlanta. It was reminiscent of 2001 when Kevin Harvick won. You mentioned old school Atlanta, and that was what I was going back to when I watched you and the 15 battling it out up front. Next week, we go to the Chicago Road Course, a complete wild card. I haven't even seen the layout. How do you think that's going to go?
It's going to be a nightmare for anyone who doesn't put in a lot of practice. I'm going to try to get a top 5 and be happy with that.
There you go, setting expectations high, going to a brand new course, a brand new track. She comes home second. Lilith, who do you want to thank on that bad ZL1 Camaro before I let you go?
I guess my first thank you is to the new Cup Series sponsor, Blue Gray Plastic Fabrication, coming on with a new logo too, which I put on the car. I really like that. Shout out to my primary sponsor, FoxFireFoods.com. They sell Luna steak sauce. Just came in stock actually last week. It's pretty awesome.
Well, there you
and
go.
Thank you guys for broadcasting. I'd
Always
like to thank my team, Justin, Jeremy, Evan. We have a really good team, and I look forward to getting in the playoffs. Hopefully, all of us.
Well, if you keep having performances like that, I'm sure it won't be a problem, and we'll be talking to you in the postseason. She comes home second tonight with a performance for the ages. Lilith Peters, the one car, she comes home in second. Lilith, thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure you'll enjoy the season.
I'm already loving it. All right, I'm not sure if I have Cliff back with me yet. I seem to have lost him.
I am here.
But we have our winner, the 15 machine, David Hara. He comes up and steals one Kevin Harvick style at Atlanta. You're the winner tonight. Walk me through that race, David.
Before you do.
Man. Yes, sir.
Before you do, hold on. Time out. Let's just take a moment here to reflect. We talked to David Hara, early on in the season, which was only last week. And he sat out for the first race of the season, Daytona. I can imagine that was just like heart-wrenching, just knowing that you're already behind in the first race of the season, and you come out race number 2 and you take over a win by inches. I mean, 0.04 seconds on the lap. David Hara, take us through what is probably the closest win that will be of the All-American Racing League.
Oh man. So real quick, we put a lot of work, Hillbilly Motorsports and Mayhem Motorsports, as far as Hillbilly Mayhem together. We put a lot of work and a lot of effort into Atlanta here, and it paid off. We saw how fast Louis was before his internet issues. I'm not sure what I had for Louis, but we'd have tried that as well. But yeah, he's always quick. But man, we kind of at the beginning of the run, we wanted to go ahead and run out and try to save a set of tires for the end there. And that's what we did. We ran the tires out each time we could, not all the way to the end of the fuel run, but just enough to give us that extra set towards the end. And we were able to pit when I think the Cajacat cars could not. Yeah, they were out of tires there. So we started in 7th position, got that other quick caution, but by then it made it up to, I believe, the 4th position. And man, this thing was on rails there. Louis had stepped back in. He and David Lafano were kind of spotting for each of us drivers. Me and Patrick up in the front. Kind of hate what happened to Patrick there at the end. But I was race clean by the Cajacat cars. When I got to Lilith, I got to her bumper really fast in turns 3 and 4 there, and I didn't want to hit her, so I just took my shot on the outside, and it paid off for this blue gray plastic fabrication Blues race design number 15 Chevrolet Camaro for Hillbilly Motorsports in the blue gray plastic fabrication series. Mike and Melissa watching at home, this was for you guys. This is our 2nd win here at Atlanta, and this locks us in the playoffs after missing that Daytona race, man. So couldn't have a better start to our season.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. Winning this race tonight, lock you into the playoffs, as you said, which are a ways off. So, huge to be talking about it already. The 15 machine, you guys are fast week in and week out last season, and kind of, I won't say surprised. You guys deserve to be here. So, really congrats to that.
Yeah.
Anyone you want to shout out before we send you back to celebrate?
Yeah, like I said, as always, Hillbilly Mayhem. That's an awesome little thing we put together this year. And I want to thank Blue Gray Plastic Fabrications and Blues Race Design. Again, if you have any plastic you need any work on, any welding, any tanks, custom tanks made, check them out at www.bluegrayplasticfabrication.com, and they'll get you hooked up. But yeah, man, just excited to be here in Victory Lane at Atlanta once again.
I can't believe it, man. Yeah, after we talked to you last week, just kind of really down and out, and just to bring that 15 machine to the winner's circle. Congrats again. You guys really deserve it. Shout out. Let's go.
Yeah, man, let's go. And I want to thank you guys over at Sim Racing Media as well for putting on this show for the folks at home. And as always, want to thank the folks watching at home. Hope we put on a good show there in that last lap.
Yeah, you really did. It was unbelievable. Shout out to you guys in the 15 machine. But there was, Lilith Peters, Justin Horton, top 3. You guys really good. You put on the show, and that's what it's all about. Thank you very much. And we will hopefully talk to you again next week.
Yeah, I haven't turned a lap at that track in Chicago, but I'm going to get out and work on it a little bit this week and hopefully be able to at least finish it.
Yeah, Chicago's
glad to get this
fun, man.
Hey, I don't have much to lose now, right? Just got to kind of keep going.
Now, for those at home watching tonight, Atlanta is a very known track. Chicago street course is not. So tune in next week. It's going to be fun. It's going to be wild. We're going to go street course racing in these big, heavy stock cars, and it is going to be amazing. So do not miss that next week. Sim Racing Media, All-American Racing League, same time, same channel, Chicago Street Course Racing. Let's go.
Woohoo! We did it, boys.
Well, Matt, for myself, and everybody else here at Sim Racing Media, what a wild night. Hera, taking the win here just out of nowhere. Honestly,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I still can't believe what I just witnessed out there on the racetrack. And I'm just
good.
I'm gonna leave you with this. Have you ever?
No, I haven't.
And I have never.
No, it was
I didn't even know what to say. I mean, in my head, I'm replaying the 2001 finish with Kevin Harvick, and it just the way he got that run, and he was freight training, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna go topside. And as soon as he went outside, it was like the race just started replaying in my head, and oh my god, my hair! I'm still geeked out over that finish. That was incredible.
Well, geeked out we will be for the next week or so until we come back next week. Same Tuesday night, same channel, same time at Chicago, street course. It's going to be fun. Please do not miss that. We're going to right, we're going to left. It's going to be amazing. Tonight.
And, one more thing. We're going to go right, we're going to go left, but the nighttime is the right time for the AARL series at Chicago next week. So let's keep it fired up until then, man. I can't wait. This series is incredible, man.
It's going to be a good time. Tonight, David Harris going to win it tonight. Little Speeders, as we talked about. Justin Horton coming across in the third. That's going to do it for our podium. Right behind them, though, unfortunately, the 00 Sean Purcell finishing fourth. Cameron Harris, past winner and champion in this series, is going to come across fifth. Christian Delgado sixth. Scott Leonard seventh. Tyrone Neal Jr. finishing eighth. Kyle Purcell going to finish ninth. Evan Clapper, big new name here in the AARL series. He's going to finish 10th. And Matt, go ahead and take an 11.
All right, the rest of the way through the field as they finished here tonight at Atlanta. In the 11th finishing position, that is Jeremy Flanagan. In 12th, Rodney Uberpacker. 13th belonged to Lightning McQuaid, who was up near the front a lot at times, just didn't have what it took to close to get the deal done here at a wild race at Atlanta. In 15th, that's going to be Peter, I'm going to butcher this, and I'm sorry, Thuralt. In 15th, 16th, I told you I was going to butcher it.
It's Terrio. It's Terrio, past champion.
How do you, Terrio?
Yeah, it's wild, but Peter Terrio is a past champion.
Peter Terrio, past champion. I got to remember that. That's obviously a good piece of important information. In 17th, the 45 of Cole Martin, one lap down, and you're going to be multiple laps down from here on out. In 18th, Jim Hubble, the 51 machine. In 19th, Joshua Hetrick. 20th belongs to Larry Garnes. 21st, the 9 machine of Adam Estrogen. 23rd belongs to the Chad Snyder. And 24th, Lewis, the British guy who was out there leading the field for a while. That is Lewis Clark. And rounding out the field in 25th, 69-time, Jonathan May rounds out the 25 starting drivers here tonight as we wrap up ATL.
Atlanta has come and gone. I'm really excited to move on and get some road course racing under our belts here with the All-American Racing League. You guys have shown us that oval racing, you guys got this. Let's see how important it is and how wild it gets at the Chicago street course next week as we bring it to you right here live on Sim Racing Media. Be sure to like and subscribe, because I know you guys, just like Zorko Nation, you're out there watching, but you're being very quiet in the chat. But I know you guys are out there. Be sure to like and subscribe, hit that bell notification, and every time we go live, you guys will get a hit. Bing. Hey, Matt, what a great race.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out exactly where I am in all of this. That was just one for the ages. And the only way you could possibly dial up the drama and the action anymore in this series through 2 races is to go somewhere we've never been, never seen,
Yeah.
and we're going to make it a road course. So, I mean, if you guys aren't here next week watching, shame on you, because it's going to be next level.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. We've seen some oval races. Great. Come back next week. We're going to go to Chicago Street Course Racing Live. We want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts right here at Sim Racing Media for joining us. And we hope next week you come back, same time, same channel. Bring it on. We'll be here. Chicago live on the road course. We'll see you next week.